Alright, sorry about that. The battery died. I forget where we were. Alright, let's just go on to the next question.
Yep.
Have you entered any homebrew competitions, and if so, have you won any?
I have entered homebrew competitions. Yeah, I've entered the Ruck's homebrew competition and the Knickerbocker's Battle of the Brews,
Right.
and I did win first place in the Ruck's Bad Santa category last year. Not
January 2013.
January 2013. Yeah, exactly. And that was it was like a Belgian double that I had aged on dark oak, American oak chips that I soaked in a dark rum.
Right.
And that's another beer that's held up very well. I still have a couple bottles of that. I still break that out. It's funny because to me, it tastes more and more like the barley wines that I brewed, even though it has more of that Belgian-y, fruity, or like fruit date kind of flavors to it.
And then, did that win? That one for that style, did it win?
That one for that style, and it came in 4th place overall.
How about at the Knickerbocker? How did you do there?
They didn't like I didn't get great reviews there, and it was tough because I brewed a couple of unusual styles, and they lumped me in with the general style.
Yeah.
So instead of being like the specific what I had, I was like, right, like smoked porter. They put me in with like all the porters or something.
Right.
And I think I put in submissions to the New York State Fair's homebrew competition, and similarly, my beers. I entered, I think, a black rye PA, and that wasn't really a category, so it was like in the specialty category.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I've learned is brew beers that for categories that there will be like it'll fit that category.
It depends if it's a BJCP sanctioned event or like the Ruck where they do their own one.
Right. I think I had the advantage in that because mine was kind of like off the wally a little bit.
I think I already know the answer to this question. What's been the most challenging or daring beer that you've brewed?
The barley wines have been a challenge. I mean, it was a big beer. So I maybe that I think even more challenging was the trying to make my Heady Topper clone. It was challenging because I really wanted it to be like the Heady Topper. I really wanted it to have that flavor and to. I guess in my mind I was thinking like it's got to be perfect or like. What am I doing with my time? But it ended up being a great beer, even though it wasn't an exact clone.
It
was very enjoyable. It's just a really good IPA. Right, exactly. So, I guess that was a challenge.
I think you already mentioned this one. Any flat out failures you had to dump? Like you said, your first batch.
Yeah, my first batch. It got infected.
Do you know how it?
White dots in it.
Just
I think it
didn't sanitize everything.
Either that or I was like really impatient and I kept opening the lid up. So I have a feeling that was probably it.
How did you hear about Albany Brew Crafters?
Well, like I said, I was a member of the Thorough Brews, and Don and I worked together, and he kind of got me into going up to the Thorough Brews, and I got to know the other Chad and Alex and Marissa and some of the guys who went up there, and when Aaron and when they were talking about the Albany Brew Crafters, I was like, this is great. I live in Albany. I don't have to drive 40 minutes for a
I'm surprised you weren't one of the founding members then.
Yeah, I guess it was a kind of a busy time. I was applying for an MBA program, which I've actually just finished.
Oh.
And So it was a busy time, but I went to the first meeting. I've been to meetings at all of our various locations.
Okay, so you're definitely one of the most senior members aside from the original six.
Yeah. I'm a founding member in spirit. They didn't put me on the charter or anything, but I'm okay with that.
All right, well, I think the next question is what made you want to join, but I think we kind of covered that.
Yep.
Would you consider running for any of the officer positions?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to be more active in the club because I think the club is a great tool to get people aware of the enjoyment there is, not just in drinking beer, but in talking about it and thinking about it, philosophically. Excuse me. I mean, I had a philosophical reason for wanting to brew. Like, if people 300 years ago could brew beer, I should be able to brew beer today with all of my modern conveniences.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of, getting people connected to the things that they eat and drink, and it doesn't have to be some faceless corporate entity telling you this is what that product is. You can say, I know what the product is. I can make it myself.
Have you done any of the Brewfester segments?
I haven't. I put in to do one about growing hops. And I'm like in the queue there, I guess.
So you grow your own hops?
I do grow my own hops.
Like what kind?
I have Cascade hops. I had 2 that were really nice last year, and now one of them is dead, so I have 1. But
and you rent?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because my landlord won't let me grow hops here. It's like they're invasive. They're gonna get everywhere. Or did you just not even ask them?
I have them in pots, so because I wouldn't want to leave them there.
Yeah. What do you use to run them up?
I have like a 7-foot trellis, but I need something a lot bigger. That wasn't big enough last year. If it had been bigger, it would have run up quite a bit higher.
Did you get cones the first year?
No, this is actually my hops 3rd year. And the first year I got none. The first year I got a vine, a little spindly thing. Right. This year I've got last year I got, both of these plants that survived had really thick, vigorous vines that grew up, and they had a ton of little buds. Yeah. And then only a handful of cones formed. But so I'm hoping this year will be the year that I get a lot of, or I get some.
What advice would you give people considering getting into homebrewing?
Just do it. Just do it. It's you can do it with whatever basic cooking equipment you have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make spaghetti, you can make beer.
Yeah, if you can boil water. And last question, what's your long-term future homebrewing plans or goals?
I watched Ryan built that 25-gallon 3-pot portable brew system that he has pictures of on the forum, and I'm like, man, that would be awesome. I don't know if my wife was in line with that, but I would like to take my brewing to an even bigger level.
Cool. You ever consider going pro?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be the ultimate manifestation. In fact, for my MBA's final project, I'm writing a business plan for a brewery.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask. Do you have any certifications, BJCP, Cicerone?
No.
Are you working on them, or?
I'm thinking about getting my Cicerone. I mean, I would like to do the BJCP too, but that seems like a pretty rigorous program.
Yeah, they both are. Alright, so I guess that about wraps it up. So thanks to Alex Novicki, one of the senior members of Albany Brew Crafters, drinking your barley wine here.
Yeah. We'll see you at the meetings.
Yep. See ya. Cheers.